Today, we're going to rank every Call of Duty ever made. Let's get into this. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to eliminate the original Call of Duty, Call of Duty 2, and Call of Duty 3, simply because I didn't play it. I didn't start playing Call of Duty until maybe Black Ops 1 was my introduction to Call of Duty, but I ended up playing earlier titles like Modern Warfare, World at War, MW2, and those games. But 1, 2, and 3, for sure, I definitely did not play. And then again, right off the bat, we're going to eliminate this, Black Ops Declassified, Roads to Victory, and Black Ops Zombies. Black Ops Zombies, I'm eliminating this because I'm going to make a whole separate video ranking every single Call of Duty Zombies ever made. So that's automatically out of the equation. And all the other ones, I simply just have not played. Same thing with Black Ops Declassified. I have never played the game. So we're left with, the main console title, since all I really play is console. So now we can get started with the official ranking. So coming up first, we have Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Modern Warfare. Where do I begin with this one? So whenever I was a kid, there used to be an Xbox in my grandma's house. It had both Call of Duty Black Ops and Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Black Ops I played obviously majority of the time. I'm a Treyarch head if you guys don't know, but I also played a little bit of Modern Warfare, and man, it's such a goated game. It's such a goated game. It transformed the series with the modern setting. Legendary performance progression system was also in the game. The campaign, one of the most iconic campaigns ever, with one of the most iconic game intros ever. The 50 million people, whatever the hell, used to live here. Now it's a ghost town. That kind of stuff. Iconic. There's not really any cons I can give to this game, so we're gonna give it S tier. Now we got Call of Duty World at War. World at War is honestly one of my most favorite games of all time. It introduced us to zombies. It's one of the most grittiest multiplayers and grittiest story campaigns any gamer has really ever seen. The only thing I can say that's really not as good compared to other Call of Duties, especially for that time frame, is that the multiplayer probably wasn't as polished as Modern Warfare, so that kind of docks it down a little bit. But regardless, we're going to give it A tier. Pretty solid. And now we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The original Modern Warfare 2. So this game, multiplayer-wise, was huge. It was it was culturally important. Everybody was trying to get nukes, or even nuke tubes, I guess you can say. The campaign was incredible. So much twists and turns. The betrayal of General Shepard. It's a crazy story. It's a great story. Everything about this game is super great. The only thing I might have to dock down from this one is maybe like the balance issues. But other than that, I still think it's a top tier game, so it's gonna go on the S tier. Now we've got Call of Duty Black Ops. Boy, where do I start with this game? This is the first Call of Duty I ever played way back in the day before I had a PS3. I would go to my grandma's house, hop on the Xbox 360, and play straight Call of Duty Black Ops. It was such an important moment in my life. This is the day I got introduced to first-person shooters. But other than that, regardless of my opinion, it had a very strong campaign with a super memorable story. It had probably the greatest main menu screen of all time in any game. It's got a great multiplayer. The zombies story was even greater. And yeah, I put Call of Duty Black Ops S tier. And next we got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 from 2011. Story-wise, it falls kind of lackluster compared to the original Modern Warfare and the original Modern Warfare 2. But that does not mean that it isn't a good story mode, because it's a great campaign. Multiplayer was fast, it was responsive, but yeah, the campaign does feel like more like a filler to the game. but regardless, it's still a great game. It's gonna go on A tier for me. Pretty good for me, at least. Now we got Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Oh, this is my favorite game of all time right here. It's often regarded as one of the best Call of Duty games of all time. Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2. Those two I hear are often regarded such high. It's just one of the greatest games of all time to me, in my opinion. Multiplayer was great. Zombies, at first kind of was lackluster, but they really redeemed themselves towards the end. It was the first ever branching campaign in Call of Duty, meaning it wasn't a direct addition to the original storyline. It picks up in 2025. The original campaign picks up during the Cold War era, and but yeah, I love everything about this game. Whenever the trailer first came out with this for Black Ops 2, and it was futuristic, it was probably the most disliked gaming video of all time. But this game did prove all the haters wrong. It ended up being one of the highest selling, if not the highest selling, Call of Duty ever. So Black Ops 2, S tier. And now we've got Call of Duty Ghosts. A lot of people give a lot of hate to Call of Duty Ghosts. Me, myself, I don't really see fit to why it gets all the hate. The only thing I see is that it came after Black Ops 2, and it wasn't really, you know, as high as Black Ops 2 was. But regardless, it had a new story. The engine upgrades, because it was made for PS3 and for the engine upgrade for PS4. But I thought it was a pretty good game. I didn't think it was a top tier game. I thought it was like a middle of the pack game. It wasn't that bad. The only thing I hated was the multiplayer maps. For fuck's sake, those multiplayer maps were so fucking humongous. It took me often maybe like 4 minutes just to find some other person on the fucking map when I'm playing Team Deathmatch. It was just horrendous. The extinction mode, it was alright, but it wasn't zombies, so I didn't really play it as much. But it's still a good game nonetheless, and I'm gonna give it C tier. And now we move on to the jetpack era, I guess you could say, starting off with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare is kind of a mixed bag for me. I really don't know whether to put it as a B tier game, C tier game, or D tier game. It's definitely not an F tier because there was definitely some pros to the game. It introduced jetpacks and futuristic movements. A lot of players didn't like the jetpacks, but you know, I myself, I did. Maybe just because I was good at the game, and a lot of people weren't. But Kevin Spacey was leading the campaign. The story mode was pretty good. It was lackluster at times, but I thought it was pretty good for the most part. They had exo zombies, which, you know, I thought it was pretty good. The story I thought was good. A lot of people think the story lacked, but I liked exo zombies quite a bit. But the mobility system is what I hear is what most players dislike about the game. But regardless, it wasn't a great COD, but it wasn't a terrible COD. It's gonna go on the C tier. And now we move on to Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is also kind of a bag of mixed emotions, mixed feelings with fans. The zombies is probably what stands out the most in most people's eyes. One of the greatest zombie storylines that we've seen for Call of Duty's lifeline. The campaign was complex. It didn't really make sense. It was I think one of the first campaigns to not have anything to do with the previous games. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, even though they were very far apart in time, it still took place within the same family, same presence, I guess. But Black Ops 3 was completely different. The futuristic movement divided fans, but a lot of people rank it higher in Call of Duty's game standpoints, thanks to the zombies. For me, that's what's pretty much gonna do it. The multiplayer was kind of good too. They had a lot of good stuff to it. But for this, it's gonna go on B tier, our first B tier of the video. Now we've got Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. F tier. Fuck this game.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
And now we've got Call of Duty World War II. This is another game developed by Sledgehammer Games. It was returned to the roots of Call of Duty. Really, Call of Duty started off as a World War II shooter, so this is a return to form. It had one of the greatest multiplayer hubs we've ever seen. Usually on most Call of Duties you get a main menu that you have to wait in. But for World War II, they made a whole central hub for players to interact. People can see you, open your supply drops, and stuff like that. It was really innovative on Sledgehammer Games' side. Unfortunately, the game launched with multiple bugs, multiple issues, just a lot of stuff wrong with the game. And then you add on Fortnite releasing around the same time, and I think this game was doomed from the start. And by the time they made the fixes to fix this game, I think the damage was already done. But luckily for me, I enjoyed this game a lot. So World War II, it's gonna go C tier. If it didn't have those issues at launch, maybe it'd be a B tier. But for now, it's gonna stay at a C tier. And now we have arrived to Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 is kind of a so-and-so for most fans, including me. For me being a Treyarch fan, a super big Treyarch fan, I was a little bit disappointed with the game. There was no campaign, even though that's probably a good thing because that campaign was probably not going to make no fucking sense either, just like Black Ops 3. But it did introduce Blackout, which, this is a hot take for me, but I think Blackout is better than Warzone 1.0 and Warzone 2.0. That's my hot take. I'll take it to the grave with me till I die. But other than that, this game really wasn't much. It really wasn't much at all, honestly. And then you top it off with the lackluster zombie storyline. I think this game is going to be on a D tier. That's my opinion. And now we're kind of in the reboot-ish era. With Call of Duty Modern Warfare from 2019. This game probably holds a lot of special moments, special places in our hearts, because it came out in 2019, 2020-ish when the pandemic hit. So all we were doing was just sitting inside our homes, playing our video games, and that's the case for me. I played a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. In fact, I think it's my most played video game in terms of hours, according to my PlayStation. I enjoyed this game a lot. Did it have some flaws? Yeah, it had some flaws. Every game has some flaws. For Modern Warfare 19 in specific, some of the progression systems feel a little too grindy at times. But, you know, I think that's the only con I really have for myself, really. The map designs were pretty good for the most part. It introduced Warzone. A lot of people like playing Warzone. I myself don't really like playing Warzone. Even more so now with Warzone 2.0. I did kind of enjoy it at first. I used to play it a lot. But story mode, as far as that goes, it has a realistic tone and a realistic depiction of the special ops. It's got strong weapon variety and customizations. So for me, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 19 goes on A tier. You could argue that it can go on B tier, but I'm putting it on A tier. With going on to Modern Warfare 19, we have Warzone 1.0. Warzone was kind of the answer to Fortnite's Battle Royale, which at the time was just completely taken off and it completely taken the whole world by storm. It was probably one of the biggest Battle Royale experiences that any player has ever, you know, gone through. You know, Fortnite, I think H1Z1, PUBG, Warzone was probably the biggest one ever. It was free to play like Fortnite, which in Call of Duty's standpoint, a free to play Call of Duty, come on, you can't really beat that. It had a super large player base, but the one thing I will knock down about it is that it had a huge cheating problem. A lot of hackers, everything, and that, I mean, it's you know, expected to come, especially since you switched over to a cross-play platform. You're gonna get in with PC players. The guys on PC are hacking the game a lot more easier, but you know, what can you do about that? Warzone 1.0, I'll put you in the B tier. B tier sounds pretty good to me. And now we moved on to Call of Duty Cold War. Or I should say Black Ops Cold War, sorry. It is the 5th Black Ops entry in Treyarch's Black Ops timeline. It had a strong Cold War narrative. The storyline was pretty great. The ending was very unexpected, a super big twist. It and it had pretty decent zombies content. I wouldn't say it was the best, but it had decent content, at least compared to Black Ops 4. It was better, in my opinion, at least. But a lot of people felt the multiplayer was too similar to others, and then the multiplayer was kind of catering towards the noob player base, the casuals. I think this is the one where the score streaks were just earned regardless of the time you played, rather than the amount of kills you get to earn those score streaks. And then to top it off, they were still doing that bullshit ass player health system where they get 150 health, making it a lot harder for people in regular game modes, regular core game modes, to kill other people. Obviously in hardcore that's not a problem, but when you go into a core game match, that can be an issue to some other people. But regardless, I think this was still a decent entry to the franchise. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. And now we got Call of Duty Vanguard. Do I seriously have to talk about this game? This is another F tier game. A lot of people might like it, but I think this game plain fucking sucks. And now we arrived at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2022. In my personal opinion, I think Modern Warfare 2 was way too similar to the Modern Warfare of 2019. I think that there was really no big changes to the game, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I still enjoyed the game thoroughly. I played it for about half the year before I ended up going back to Modern Warfare 19 because I liked that game better. But regardless, it had a refined combat and DMZ modes. But other than that, this game wasn't anything special. It's gonna go on the C tier, at least for me. And now we're on to the Modern Warfare 3 of 2023, developed by Sledgehammer Games. A lot of people might like this game. I'm here to tell you that I fucking hate this game. Zombies was trash. I don't know what Treyarch was thinking, making it an open world zombies. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to be revolutionary with that stuff, but at the end of the day, that was not it for me. Multiplayer was way too similar to Modern Warfare 2, which Modern Warfare 2 was too similar to Modern Warfare 1. So I don't think anything really special stood out in this game. And I played it for about a month, and a month was all I needed just to see that it wasn't a good game. So, D tier. And now we're on to Black Ops 6. Listen, I know how the fan base feels about this game, and I think it's a little bit split 50-50. A lot of players like this game, and a lot of players hate this game. I think that Black Ops 6 had a pretty strong campaign, and it had multiplayer innovations. But I still think the multiplayer lacked in some ways, like for example, map innovation. You know, this game kept bringing back some classics and stuff like that. And the maps that they did bring, they just overall kind of sucked in my opinion. And the zombies, I'm kind of 50-50 with the zombies, because at times I enjoyed playing it, and there's times where I was like, man, this shit fucking completely fucking sucks. But regardless, I think I still had a good time with Black Ops 6. So for that, I think it's gonna be a C tier, to be honest with you. I don't think it did enough to become a B tier, but it didn't suck that bad to become a D or F tier. I think Black Ops 6, it'll go in the C tier. And now we're on to Warzone 2.0. I don't need to say anything about this. I think Warzone 2.0 is straight dog shit. They should have just kept the original. But I mean, I guess I know why they had to move it up. You know, PS5 came out. There were some hardware limitations to the original Warzone, and but regardless, I mean, it didn't do enough to change my mind that this was a better Warzone than the original. Warzone 2.0, I'll put it in C tier because it still has a huge player base. If it was up to me, I would have put it at D tier. But Warzone 2.0, C tier. Call of Duty Mobile, I played maybe about 1 or 2 months worth of it when I was in high school, but since then I haven't touched it. So for that, I'm gonna put it on NA/not played. I don't know too much about it and I haven't played it too much to really give a certified opinion on it. So Call of Duty Mobile is going to go on the NA tab. And now we reach the last and current game of the franchise at this moment, which is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Black Ops 7, campaign-wise, it does have some high points, but it does have some really stupid points. Like the fight with Raul Menendez, or even the scene with Alex Mason and David Mason. It was a very confusing campaign for me, at least. When I played the multiplayer, it still felt way too similar to Black Ops 6. Nothing innovative was being done. And I think the multiplayer lacked in a lot of ways. There's a lot of bugs. The zombies, don't even get me started on the zombies. I think the zombies is probably one of the weakest entries I've ever seen, besides Black Ops 4. In Treyarch's terms, I'm not ranking the whole zombies line at this point in the video, but in terms of Treyarch's zombie line, it's probably one of the weakest entry points. As a Treyarch kid, I really hate to say it, but this game is just not good. F tier for me. So that concludes my tier list of Call of Duty games ranked. Keep in mind, guys, this is my opinion. I know all you guys have different opinions. But if my opinions were equal to yours, or you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with more rankings soon, including this Call of Duty Zombies storyline and timelines within the games, Fortnite eras, all that stuff. But yeah, peace.